we are going to replace the stator on the FXR. Okay, obviously the first thing you do, take those bolts, take the outer primary off, keep your bolts organized. That comes right off. Well, first and foremost, take off your foot peg if you've got mid controls, and take off your shifter. Then take off the primary cover. So this comes right off, obviously, with these bolts. Your stator's under there. Your rectifier's up there. The stator has 3 wires to keep the bike charged. Back there. Runs to the rectifier, AC current, three wires. Comes out of the case here into the rectifier. Charge your battery, etc. Okay. So I've been messing around working on bikes for a long time, mainly only Harleys and my dirt bike. But you see, I'm electronically illiterate. When I built my chopper, I had to have my buddy Cody wire it for me, because even with 2 different wiring harnesses, I couldn't get it figured out. I don't really even understand electricity. I got a GED, whatever. It's not my thing. But I've watched enough videos now, talked to my buddies, I've got some of this kind of figured out. So I'm going to run through this. It doesn't look super hard. It was overwhelming to me at first. It might be overwhelming to you for the same reason, but it's really not that complicated. So we're going to do it right now, get it done. Then it's crossing that path where we don't got to worry about it no more, and we can be confident in doing this for in the future. So there you have it. This might either be an 1 3/8" socket or an 1 1/2" socket, depending on which model you have and depending if it's aftermarket or not. The clutch basket in theory is supposed to come off, both of those together, okay? Okay, so besides the 2 sockets I mentioned, you're gonna need pliers for the C-clip to take out, Allen key, etc. So this bolt right here is regular, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So this is regular threads. This is backwards, okay? So once we get this off the C-clamp and we take out in the inside of it right there, there's gonna be another bolt like this, a little bit smaller, okay? When you take that out, this is gonna go right, like you're tightening a normal bolt to get that loose. This is normal. Go counterclockwise, it's gonna undo. You need one of these. This is just made out of nylon. This is gonna go in, bam. And that's gonna keep, that tool will keep the chain from moving as we take this off. These tools are easy to get. This particular one's off Amazon, I think it was $7. That's usually pretty tight. So we use a breaker bar, 1 1/2" socket. Like I say, it could be an 1 3/8". In my case, it's an 1 1/2". Chain tool in place, holding it in there. See that? Take the breaker bar. Once the breaker bar does this thing, get that right off like that. Once this outer bolt, once that's off, remove that, just like that. Now to get the clutch off, break that off, bam, bam, get that loose, and just like how you adjust the clutch, right? Now the clutch is going to be out of adjustment, but we got to redo that anyway, so you need to unscrew this whole bolt. You can do an Allen in the end, but it's already loose once that nut's loose. So you unscrew this gently, and take this out completely. Bam. Now you got the C-clip around here, so you're gonna need the C-clip pliers. So you need C-clip pliers backwards, see? C-clip, C-clip pliers. You take that off, and it could go flying in the air because they're under pressure, so watch your eyes. Once that C-clip is out, this piece comes right out. You could use a little screwdriver if you want. Pull it from the side if it appears to be stuck, but it comes out real easy. It's not under pressure. Now see that bolt back there? That's the bolt we're going to take off to get the clutch back off so that we can get both of those off together with the chain. That, like I said before, you turn right like you typically tighten something clockwise to untighten that. It's reverse threads, okay? Very important. Only the clutch side. That side's normal. That nut is 1 3/16, okay? After that clutch bolt is off, it all comes out in one piece. Provided that you unscrewed the one bolt for the chain connection, or slides right off as well. So that all comes off. Typical of your old bikes, so you know what's going on. Most everything was loose and or falling apart on this bike, but that's okay because it's an FXR. You need to get out there and do your own dirt, like says. Get to know your bike, make sure everything's safe and up to par because you're the one riding it. Okay? Everything's off. Now this pulls right off because it's on gears like that. Like spline or whatever. Now this comes off, this plate, it's magnetic, so it's kind of loose, but you use Allen keys, whatever you need to get in these holes, pull it off. At first, it's going to be hard to come off because it's magnetized to the stator, okay? This pulls off. It's ready to go right now. Minus spacer. Two little spacers are facing out. This comes off super duper easy. A space on the inside. Those are the magnets that keeps the bike charged. There's the stator. In my case, mine is blown up. Now for the fun part to get the stator off is simply these bolts, which are T27 Torx bits unless they've been changed. T27 Torx, take those bolts off, stator comes off. Again, it's plugged in, goes through the case and that plug, through your rectifier. We're replacing all that. Okay, there's my new stator, brand new, fresh out the box. New plug and everything. New regulator rectifier. Put the plug, spacers, 4 more bolts, stator cover, everything we need, washers, everything. Old one, new one. Taking the old one out now. I get this plug through the hole, jam it through there. I might even cut it because I don't need it and I got all new stuff. I'd be more careful if I was keeping my regulator rectifier and only replacing the stator. But since I'm replacing both, I don't really care about that wiring because, again, I got it here. New one came with it. Okay, up front here on the regulator rectifier, let's see if I can reach in there. There's 2 bolts on each side. 2 bolts on each side. There, over there. So it holds it in. Bam, bam, take it off. So we can replace it with the new one. Now I'm putting the new stator in. Just got to get through that hole, like I said, in the case. And this. These 2 screws need to be taken off because that holds back the wiring so it doesn't come out and hit the stator and battery. So take this out to get that back through the hole with the grease on it. Then we'll put that back on to keep the wires away from the stator. Alright, that rubber grommet is almost through. Needs to come through, so where this pops through, it just kind of crests that right there and it's almost there. And I will say so far, hands down the most difficult part to get this through. Almost through, but man, this is tough getting that through. Okay, looks like it's through. to the first barb. So the first barb is kind of flush with the engine there, so it's sticking out, I don't know, about a ½ inch or so. Now that's in. My hands are worse for the wear, and that was by far the most difficult part of this entire job. Now put the little bracket that holds that back in, holds the wires against the case so they don't hit the stator, and we're good to go. Okay. 4 bolts back in place, stator on, through the hole, good to go. Alright, look, 2 important things. Pay close attention that everything came off, spacers, everything, because you want to put everything obviously back together the same way that you took it apart. That's crucial. You got to take notes, pictures, whatever. Second most important thing, or at least very important thing, is Loctite everything. Some of my buddies do red, you do blue, either or. You decide. Big debate, but either way, use Loctite. Okay? Get everything back together. Now I'm gonna get the chain tensioner. Get that back on and get the tension in it, and we'll be good to go. Bolting that up here, getting it where it's supposed to be, dialing in the snickerdoodle. Okay, when you reassemble your clutch and you're screwing this back in, take note that once it seats, do not keep pushing hard. Let it seat and go back a ½ or 3/4 a turn, depending on how you want your clutch adjusted. You can ask my buddy Cody. I've literally destroyed that whole shaft by jamming it down and tightening and tightening and tightening until the whole rod or whatever inside bent. So I've destroyed a clutch that way. So like I say, when you get this in here, once it seats at the end, don't go too hard, then go back around. Alright, now that the new rectifier regulator's on there, comes with the cord, comes with the wire, excuse me. This, we're going to follow the old one underneath, re-zip tie it more or less the same way. And it's going to go under that cover into the fuse box. I'll show you that in a second. Basically follow the other wire, and we're good to go. As a side note, I should have did this on my lift. I got lazy and put it in the wheel chock, which usually for my dirt bike, and that was a mistake because my back hurts real bad. I'm sitting on the ground uncomfortable, my hands are bleeding, my ankles are bleeding. So yeah, this would be better to do up on a lift, high up, and stand up and do this. Okay, driver's left side cover on the FXR has your fuses. So take this cover off with the 2 bolts. It's stock, it's skinny, same thing. This is just an aftermarket. Alright, so under this fuse box, the regulator rectifier goes to this one. Kind of like 4 there, left, down, second one down. Okay, so that goes to that. Goes into the fuse, top one goes to your battery, keeps the battery charged. So connect the new regulator rectifier if you're putting it into that. Now that the outer primary is all back together, like I've said in other videos, don't tighten them in order. Tighten them crisscross like a star pattern. Tighten that one, that one, that one, that one, and back to this one, etc. Then add oil. ATF 2050, whatever you're going to use, add it, you're good to go.